What's up, folks? We're down here in Charleston, Mississippi, a new piece of property that I got permission to hunt. And birds have been gobbling very early, like it was dark and they were gobbling, but they're on the neighbor's piece. But they're not too terribly far off. The problem is there's a lot of the highways right up here, and there's a lot of traffic. So it's hard to hear right now. It's that time of the morning where everybody's going to work, so well, I feel and look like I've been run over by a Mack truck, but we're here and we're going to get after them. Stick with us. Let's see if we can't get something on the ground. Crop dutcher just flew over. Folks, I didn't get it on film earlier, but I shot and missed and my damn scope cut my head wide open. So anyway, I went back, got the 20 gauge, and bird's still hammering. I think he's coming. Anyway, he gobbled a couple times at my calls, and he sounded like he was starting to drift this way. Several birds in the area gobbling, but I'm sure they're with hens right now, so we'll see. We'll see how the morning plays out, but got the decoys out. I'm trying to film this, so I got the decoys out, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. Don't know if I got him. Golly. Oh, folks, I had to take a running shot there as he was getting out of Dodge, but we got him. It was actually a really good shot. I put a big old hole in the side of his head. That's why usually they'll fly, but I shot and saw or heard nothing. So I went to check and he was laying right there. I must have just stone cold him. Whew, what a morning. I tell you, birds gobbling absolutely everywhere. Called one in early this morning. Shooting the 870 then with a scope on it and absolutely gashed my forehead. I mean, gashed it wide. It probably needs stitches, but I ain't gonna mess with it. Put some super glue on it or something. Went back to the truck. Got my first aid kit out, cleaned myself up. Birds, as I was walking back to the truck, birds were still gobbling. So there was no way I was going home. Went and got the 20 gauge, and because actually I've been hunting a lot with this 20 gauge. It's a little single shot Stevens 301, and it'll kill them stone cold, as you can see right here. But I've been keeping 2 12 gauge shells and 2 20 gauge shells in my vest. Well, I shot twice at the bird this morning, missed, and so I may have some in my truck, but after what it did to my forehead, I didn't want to mess with it anymore. So I pulled the 20 gauge out and had this bird gobbling, several other birds gobbling in the distance. And this bird, he was close. He was the closest bird to me gobbling, but he was staying off down in this bottom. And so I just assumed he was with some hens hanging around. Well, maybe his hens must have just left, because I heard him gobble on his own, and he was a little bit closer. I did a couple soft yelps. He did not answer to him. And then the next time he gobbled, he was a lot closer. And so I did just a couple soft yelps then again, and just let it alone. And I had the, let's see, I'll show you here. I had the little HS strut Jake and just the hen sitting on the ground there. And there's our bird, just a beautiful, beautiful, I guess you'd call this a delta. First time I've ever been out here, and you can tell that these birds do not get hunted very much, because they like to gobble a lot, and they like to gobble to the call. So it's always a treat to hunt some unpressured birds, you know. So anyway, I've been getting my butt absolutely kicked this year. I've been hunting a lot of public land. I kind of made it a point to try to tag out on public land here in Mississippi. Well, come the first few weeks of the season, I started to panic a little bit. And so with Tennessee season opening next weekend, and I'll be there. But I called the landowner here and asked him if he minded if I come out and hunt, and he said no, go ahead. I'm glad I did. I wasn't very optimistic about coming down here, to be honest with you, just the way my luck's been. So took off work and good use of PTO day. Anyway, what an adventure this morning. I really wish I'd have had some footage of the first bird I was working. That was textbook. I mean, there's another one gobbling right there. Unbelievable. Yeah, the first one just textbook, gobbled all the way in. I didn't have any decoys or the camera. I had left them way back in the first setup, and I could tell the birds were drifting this way, so I looped around. I'm gonna tell you what, it is really, really difficult to self-film and not use decoys, and I don't use decoys a lot, to be honest with you. I've had them hurt me more than help me. But I think once we get a little bit later into the season here, James has killed some, Carter's killed some, Sam's killed some. Now I finally got one. Now we can probably start buddying up and trying to get some decent footage. But when it comes down to it, you just got to make the shot count and not worry about this dang camera. But anyway, well, I'm gonna get everything packed up and start walking out of here. I'll show y'all some clips of this property. It's beautiful. It's right on the bluff. This is actually on the side of the delta. It's got planted pines, and actually on the far west side of the property is a giant agricultural field that it looks just delta, and they got some duck pits and everything. Talk about a dream property where you can kill ducks, deer, and turkey on the same thing. It is unbelievable. So anyway, I just want to say thanks for watching, and thank the property owner for letting me come out, and thank the Lord above for finally allowing me to harvest a bird. So quit talking, let's get packed up, and I'll talk to y'all in a bit.